In this video tutorial, we will learn to deploy a multi-container ASP.NET Core Dockerized app to Azure Container Instance. What you will learn in this: Number 1. Deploying a multi-container ASP.NET Core app to Azure Container Instances. 2. Using Docker-compose to create Docker containers on Azure Container Instance. 3. Using Azure CLI and Azure Container Registry. 4. Using Azure Storage Accounts and Azure File Share. And 5. Using Docker Volume for adding SSL certificate to the Azure container which is running the app. So let's start. Let me show you my multi-container Dockerized ASP.NET Core app. This is the Docker Compose file showing two services which will be seen in two Docker containers. There are two projects on the app. One is the API project and is named MultiAPI. Other project is MultiApps project. So let me run this app in Visual Studio. You can see the two containers have started. This is showing a random joke every time the page is refreshed. The joke is provided by the MultiAPI project. Which is asking for the joke is MultiApps. So these are the two containers running two projects, and so we will now deploy this on Azure Container Instance. So open Azure Container Registry, and in the Azure Container Registry you can store the Docker images just like Docker Hub. So search for Container Registry in your Azure account, then click the Create button. Select a resource group. If you previously have a resource group, select it or create a new one. If you don't have, name the registry anything which is available. I have named it as Yogi Azure. Select an SKU. I have selected basic one because it costs lowest. Then click review plus click button. Review it on the screen which you are provided with. Then click the create button to create your registry in Azure. Now the registry is created. On the left side you can see the access keys. Click on it and enable it, as it is necessary because we will be pushing the images to it. You can also see the username and password which you will be using when we will be logging to this registry. Now go to the repositories. You will not see anything because there aren't any pushed images till now. And once we will push images, then you will be seeing this images here. So now go to docker-compose.yml file in your project and change the images name for the two containers such that they start with your Azure Registry login server. So first image name will be yogi azure.azure.cr.io / and then you can put any name. I prefer to put I1, and similarly for the second image it would be yogi azure.azure.cr.io / I2. Now I will build the images through docker-compose command. So in the command prompt, first go to the directory of the docker-compose.yml file. And enter the command docker-compose build and press enter. The two images will be built in your local PC. You can now check the images by entering docker images command. See, there are the two images. Now I will push the image to Azure Container Registry. I will first log in myself to Azure Container Registry, but these login commands will have to have Azure CLI in your PC. So you have to install Azure CLI. So open Google and search for Azure CLI, then install it by seeing the instructions based on what operating system you are using. The OS in my case is Windows 10, so I am just downloading the MSI package and installing it from there. So Azure MSI package has downloaded in my PC and I am double clicking it and starting the installation. Just wait till the installation finishes. Looks that the installation is finished now, and so open command prompt once again. You can close it and then open it. This is a necessary step in most cases. So now enter login command that will log into Azure Container Registry. This command is az acr login -- name and then the name of your registry. See that the access keys section on your account to find the name of the registry and password, etc. Carefully see how I am copying pasting these credentials. The login is successful. Now I will push the images from my local PC to this registry. So go to the directory of docker-compose.yml file and enter docker-compose push command. The push command will push this image to the Azure registry. The pushed operation is finished now. Now you can check the images in the repository section of the registry. And yes, you can see these two images are there. Now open Azure container instance on your account. There will be no containers right now since you haven't created any containers. I will be creating containers for my app using Azure CLI, which we have just downloaded. So open the command prompt and enter the docker login Azure command. This will open a new browser where you have to enter or select your Azure credentials. I am successfully logged in now. You can see that. Next, I have to create a context in Docker. This context will associate my Docker to my Azure account so that I can run the Docker commands right to my Azure instance. The create context command is docker context create ACI and then name of the context. I have given the name of my context as my ACI context. Then you can check all the context in your Docker instance. The command is docker context ls. You can see that the context has a star, which is the current context that you are using. So you have to change it to the new context which you have just created. So use the command docker context use and then my ACI context. Now run the docker context ls command once again and you can see the star on the my ACI context, which says that this context has been selected, and now we are ready to run the commands on Docker in a Azure container instance. Next, enter docker compose up command from the directory of docker-compose.yml file and press enter. Notice there is no dash between docker and compose. Okay, that containers are creating in Azure, so wait for them. The containers have been created, and now refresh your Azure page and you will see a new container instance is created. This contains our ASP.NET Core app. click the name of the container instance. Then go to the container section where you will see 3 containers for the app. One is for Azure usage and 2 are for our ASP.NET Core app. You can see one is showing terminated state because there seems to be some problem and the container has gone down, due to which let us check the problem. From the log section, it says port 80 is already on use. Let me explain what this problem means. There are 2 containers and both are trying to use port 80, so one is able to use it while other is not able to use it, and because of which it is going down. To solve this problem, I have to assign another port to the container in the docker-compose.yml file. So open docker-compose.yml file and enter ports section. I tell Docker compose that port 81 of the host, which is the browser, should be mapped to port 81 inside the container. I will also have to add an environment variable of ASP.NET Core to tell that port 81 should be the default port for the URL of the app. So add environment section and add ASP.NET Core underscore URLs equal to http://+:81. Okay, now run the docker compose up command once again. Then go to Azure and refresh the same page. This time the containers are all running without any problem. Now go to the main URL and you will see an IP address of the app. So copy this IP address and open it on your browser. Also add port 81 to it, as we have pointed that 81 port in the YML file is the port of the app. So add it after the URL as :81. The app is opening perfectly. Congratulations, we have successfully deployed our app to the Azure container instance. Now I will use the concept of Docker volume to add SSL certificate to my app. Here I will upload my SSL certificate to Azure File Share and then will use Docker volume to mount the SSL certificate inside the container from Azure File Share. To create Azure File Share, you will need to first create a storage account in your Azure account and then create an Azure File Share inside it. So in your Azure account, go to Storage Accounts and click Create button to create a new storage. Name this storage anything you like. I have named it as my Azure Storage 1. Once your storage is created, go to its main page and you will see file share. Click on it and create a new file share. I have named file share as my file share 1. I am creating a new folder called SSL inside the file share and uploading my SSL certificate to it. SSL certificate is uploaded to it from the UI. Now go to the docker-compose.yml file and add volume section that will tell Docker Compose how to map this certificate. I will tell it that I have to map it from Azure File Share. So copy and paste this Azure code which does this mapping. I will provide this code on my video description. So you just copy and paste it from there. You have to give this volume some name of anything you like. I gave it a name, my data. Then there are 3 fields here where you have to provide the volume from your Azure account. These fields are share underscore name, which is your file share name, and recall it was my file share 1. Storage underscore account underscore name, which was my Azure storage 1, and storage account key, which you will get from access keys page on your Azure account. Copy these keys and paste it. Now add volume field for the MultiApp service which will be using this Azure file share. So I say simply map my data volume to MultiApp folder. This MultiApp folder lies on the root of the container, so I am using / at the beginning. Now I have to expose another port for HTTPS type of URL. I add port 443 to the ports field, then add this 443 3 port to the app's URL in the environment variable. Next, add environment variables to provide this SSL certificate settings to the container. These are: number 1, I specified 443 as HTTPS port for the app by using ASP.NET Core _HTTPS _port field. Second, specify the password for the SSL certificate by using ASP.NET Core _crystal _certificate _default password. My password is mypass123. It will be different for your certificate. 3. Then tell the location of this SSL certificate on the container. I used ASP.NET Core _crystal _certificates _default path field. The path will be inside MultiApp folder, and you already know MultiApp folder lies on the root of the container. Then we will have SSL folder there because I have created the SSL directory on Azure File Share. The uploaded certificate will be inside this SSL directory. So inside the SSL, your SSL certificate will be there. So the full part becomes this. Now run the docker-compose up command once again and see if the app works or not. Okay, no problem, and all the containers are running. It seems everything is working fine. Now let's open the app by its IP on the browser. Note I am adding port 81 to it like before. App has opened. Click on the proceed button and you will see the app is working fine. Let's check the certificate. It is showing that the certificate is applied. Although there is an error, I will tell why. The certificate I am using here is a development certificate, so it is giving a slight error that certificate is invalid. When you will replace this certificate with a let's encrypt certificate or any certificate, then SSL error will be gone and it will be totally working fine. So this means that the SSL certificate path has been applied correctly, and all you have to do is change the certificate with a proper certificate and change the SSL password in the docker-compose.yml file. I show you the URL. So So copy the URL and paste it on a notepad. You will see HTTPS in the URL. This is because the port 81 is automatically redirected to port 443, which is the secured URL, and this is done from the startup.cs file in the MultiApp project. Congratulations on completing this tutorial. Now it's your turn to create multi-container Docker app and deploy it to Azure Container Instance. I hope it is working. Now you have every knowledge of HTTPS, SSL, volumes, port mappings, etc. in Docker subject. Thank you.